Hello and welcome to this video. Python statements are basically a set of instructions that you give to the computer to perform a task or a series of tasks. Python statements can contain one or more expressions. It can also be on a single line, or it can consist of multiple lines. To illustrate examples of Python statements, I'm going to create a new notebook. So under new here, I'll click on the drop down, I click Python 3. Python 3 contains the Python interpreter that will interpret the code we write into a machine readable format that the computer can understand. So I'll click Python 3 and I will just double click to give it a name. So I'll change the name to say Python statements and I'll click rename. So this notebook is going to be called Python statements. So you can see we've got a blue strip here, which means I'm in the command mode. So I'm going to start up with a single line statement. It's going to be a simple expression. I'm going to say 9 times 9, and I'm going to run the cell by clicking on the run button, and that gives me 81. So this is known as a single line statement because the statement or the instructions is just on one line. So depending on what you want the computer to do, you can have a statement that consists of several hundred, even thousands lines of code, depending on the task you want the computer to perform. So I'm going to give you an example of a multi-line statement. So I'm going to use a for loop. So I'm going to say for I in range, and a range is basically an inbuilt function in Python which you can use to specify a range. So I'm going to say 13. I'll specify the range and then I will add the colon. The colon is very important. It creates an indentation level. So if I press enter, you can see here it's giving me an indentation level, so I can add another line of statement. So I'm going to add a print function. So I'm going to get it to print the value of I. So let me click to run the code. You can see here it's printed out from 0 to 12. All right. So when you specify a range, the first number is usually a 0. Okay. Hence it has not printed out 13. Because 0 here represents the first range. Okay, so this is an example of a multi-line statement because the statement is on 2 lines. Let me explain what this code is in this cell number 2 here. The for basically is used to iterate over a range of values. So here I'm saying this for is going to be used to loop through a range of 13 numbers, a sequence. So the I here is going to be what is going to store the value. So I say for I in range. Range basically is a inbuilt function in Python. So we're basically using this for loop to loop through this range, and we're going to print out each value of this I. So I here contains all the values. So what it's going to do is the first value it's going to print is going to be 0. So it prints from 0 to 12, which gives it 13 values. Okay, so that's basically what that code is doing. In this video, I gave you a brief introduction to what Python statements are. So a statement can contain one or multiple lines of code depending on the task you want the computer to perform. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.